Hey there! So today we have another review. This is another beer courtesy of Jonathan. This is CMB. Well, I guess they changed their name to Coastal Mass Brewing out of Beverly, Massachusetts. This is their point of no return. So again, more with the sea theme kind of thing. The last one had like a whale fin on it. This one's like some boats going. Nice painting, like watercolor, right? I think of boats going into the abyss in the ocean. So this is a double IPA. It's Citra Simcoe Kohatu. uh, New Zealand hop. It's about a month and a week fresh. It does not look great. Actually, looks pretty okay. I can't seem to get this glass clean. All right, I'm about to work on that. Anyway, beer has a little bit of that kind of like simply like oxidized orangey kind of hue to it. No, not orangey. It's like what was that? Let me try to pour it out. No, it actually looks pretty good. Never mind. It's like a little bit biased. A lot darker than last beer. Beer comes in a light to medium gold color, not as murky and hazy, a little bit of orange and light, fluffy, wonderful, fluffy head, really rocky up top, but not as big and poppy as the last one. Don't smell too much. A little bit floral, a little bit of citrus, like not too much going on the nose. A nice temperature too. Like don't have it too cold. Sweet, very sweet, very sweet. Almost like orange marmalade. So last beer had a lot of hopper. This one has some of it. This one a little bit more drinkable. Double IPA, 8.2%. This beer actually has a lot of, despite being sweet up front, I want to say it's oxidized. There's a little bit of that like papery thing on the back end, but it's not bad. It's like sort of in between. It's probably just like right past the peak, a little bit past the peak. It's definitely got a really sweet like tangerine, orange candy, orange dish candy kind of thing up front. A little bit of malt sweetness. It's very disjointed of a beer. Sort of a somewhat acceptable amount of that kind of green polyphenol thing on the back end. It honestly drinks a lot like a screwdriver, but one that has like grass in it, or like grass juice in it or something like right. Has a lot of big screwdriver vibes to it. Sort of reminds me of a little bit of like back in the day when I was really excited to try Very Green. I like got some and I was like, oh man, this would be way better than Green. It ended up being a little bit like thin, boozy screwdriver thing instead of a really nice fluffy beer that I really enjoyed out of Green. Yeah, it's all right. A little bit of melon there, light stone fruit character. I think this is a lot better of a beer, but I feel there's still a little bit of like yeah, I don't want to say it's oxidized. Yeah, it's just disjointed. It's screwdrivery. It's citrusy up front. The malt is sort of like it has a sweetness to it, but that doesn't have enough like oomph of like body behind it. And then it dries out with that like grassy jalapeno thing. It's all right. Not as undrinkable as the last one. I think for some people this would be better, but if anything, some people like the aromatics of the other CMB beer and the more like big green polyphenol attack. This is not as offensive. It's still pretty offensive. Still not a great beer. Uh, See, I would that beer was just straight up undrinkable. Like I don't know what world we live in where that beer is drinkable. This at least I think is like drinkable for some, but even then, like some of the telltale signs of oxidation for me are the really rocky head, and the beer just the foam just doesn't look right. Like it didn't hold well. Good experiment was like when I did highlight like out in my laundry room through like 90 to 100 degree temperature versus fridge temperature versus room temperature. The beer just degraded. Like the color was darker, the head looked all like really bad, and sort of has these characteristics. So literally, like I mean, after reviewing what like over 3,000 beers and like enough hazies and IPAs, you sort of see like physical, like there's physical, visual attributes to beer that sort of like can tell you something's wrong. Here it's not as obvious, but the beer is disjointed, and I'd argue that fresh this beer obviously had to be better, but I don't know. Anyway, let's ignore all that other stuff. This beer still no, but definitely not like it doesn't taste like you're chewing on grass and arugula as much. So at least it makes it somewhat drinkable. I could probably shoot it if I had in a flight and I'll probably drink some of it in a flight and like deal with 4 or 5 ounces and like survive, right? The other one I just couldn't be able to drink at all. So um, I don't like it. I'm not probably if I wouldn't finish it. Um, 79, 79, 79. Yeah. Okay. That's assuming that I am also tasting some oxidation flavors. Like it doesn't have the oomph of the aromatics and the really nice fruit flavors that the other one had. But the good thing is that somehow the polyphenol, well, not somehow, I don't think actually the polyphenol degrades with time and oxidation. Um, so, or maybe it will, but not as intensely. This one just doesn't have as much hot burn. So, good thing. 79. Cheers later.